So we're going to go ahead and get started with our text wintertime. I can see that for today's work, I'm going to need to be doing an extended response. So that means that my annotations and my main idea jot should go pretty quickly as we go. I'm going to notice that this is a poem. So I'm going to label it as poem, literal meaning, deeper meaning. Okay. I'm going to start reading. And on my right side, I'm going to be annotating anything that is literal. On my left side, I'm going to be annotating any deeper ideas that I'm coming up with. Late lies the wintry sun abed, a frosty, fiery, sleepy head. Blinks but an hour or two, and then a blood-red orange sets again. So this is using some language that I'm not used to, but basically I'm seeing that it's saying that the sun rises and sets really quickly, just after an hour or two. So that means that that's quick. So I'm going to say sun, rise, and set quickly. And based on the title, I know that it's talking about in wintertime. In winter. That's what's literally happening right here. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. I don't see any deeper ideas quite yet, so I'm just going to keep going from here. Before the stars have left the skies, at morning in the dark I rise, and shivering in my nakedness, by the candle bathe and dress. So I can tell that this person is getting ready for the day when it's still dark out and that they're kind of cold right now. So person gets ready when still dark plus cold. So you should be annotating along with me on your packet. Close by the jolly fire I sit to warm my frozen bones a bit, or with a reindeer sled explore the colder countries round the door. So I'm noticing that this person is either going to sit by the fire inside or go sledding and explore outside. Now I'm starting to notice a deeper meaning here. I'm starting to see that winter, even though it's kind of a tough time, like it says up here, there's still many ways to have fun. So I'm going to write on my left-hand side, winter, tough, but many ways to have fun. Okay, cool. We have read this before, but we're doing it for a different purpose this time. Okay. I'm going to keep going now that I have my literal jots over here and I have a little bit of an idea of some deeper meaning stuff on my left side. Now I have my last two stanzas to read. When to go out, my nurse doth wrap me in a comforter and cap. The cold wind burns my face and blows its frosty pepper up my nose. So I'm seeing when it says my nurse doth wrap, that usually just means the person taking care of you. So if this was written back in the time of Robert Louis Stevenson, so this was in the 1900s, it doesn't mean a literal nurse for a sick person. It just means somebody that is helping to take care. So I'm going to say bundles up to go outside in the cold. Okay, last stanza. Black are my steps on silver sod, thick blows my frosty breath abroad, and tree and house and hill and lake are frosted like a wedding cake. Basically, here I'm seeing that they're looking at going on a walk and seeing the beautiful scenery. So, walk and see beautiful nature. So, some of this language is a little bit advanced. That's why I'm giving us kind of our literal meanings, and because we've read this poem before. I want you to take 30 seconds to get a main idea jot. I want to see a literal meaning jot and a deeper meaning jot. I'm not going to have share outs right now because the most important part of today's lesson is going through that planning page and extended response. We're going to do the planning page as our we do, and you're going to do the extended response as the you do. I'm going to keep my text on the screen when we go to independent practice so that you'll be able to write your extended response even if you don't have the packet. I'm going to reveal my main idea. My literal meaning, the narrator discusses how the days are short in winter, so he gets up in the dark and sits by the fire or goes out exploring. That's what's literally happening. And the deeper meaning is that even though winter is cold and dark, it is still a beautiful time of year. Make sure you get this down if you don't have it. If you have something similar, that's okay. Let's make sure that we're sitting still. Okay. I want us to get thinking about our planning page. So let's go ahead and flip to the planning page. And I see that the question is not there. So I need to look, I'm going to flip back to looking at me. I need to look at my extended response page to see the question. And I'm going to break this up into the paragraphs that I need to write. So here I see it says, what type of text is wintertime? How is it different from prose and drama? Explain how the structure of the author uses allows the author to convey their ideas. In your answer, be sure to. The first bullet point says, describe this, why this is an example of poetry using at least 3 different elements of poetry. So I know that that's going to be my first paragraph. So I'm labeling that as my first paragraph. Just marking up our question right now. Number 2, it says describe how this is different from prose. And then the third one says describe how this is different from drama. I'm going to put both of those ideas in the same paragraph. And then for the last one, it says explain how the structure allows the author to convey their ideas. We're just going to use 2 pieces of evidence for each of these paragraphs. So now I'm going to flip back to my extended response planning page so that I can get ready to write. I see for my first section, I need to write a topic sentence. My topic sentence starts with flipping the question. This is an example of poetry because we're only going to be writing 3 paragraphs here. And I finish that by saying the elements of poetry that I see. It has stanzas, rhyming words, and rhythm. Now I'm going to make 2 bullet points, A and B, for my 2 pieces of evidence. My first piece of evidence, I'm going to show that this has stanzas. So what I did for my first piece of evidence is I went back to stanza 1, and I just put a bracket around this and said A, because that's a stanza, and I'm going to use that as my evidence for a stanza. Then for B, I found evidence of rhyming words. So I said, late lies the wintry sun abed, a frosty, fiery, sleepy head. Go ahead and mark up evidence A and B in your text. Evidence A to show that there are stanzas, evidence B to show that there are rhyming words. Now when I go back to my planning page, I can put down what I said for evidence A and B. A, example of a stanza, and I put stanza 1 in parentheses so I know where to go back to. B, example of rhyming words, and I put stanza 1 because I used stanza 1 to find my rhyming words. You're labeling the evidence and writing in. Anything that I put on my paper should be going on your paper. Now I'm moving into paragraph 2 planning. In paragraph 2, I start by flipping the question again. This is different from prose and drama because, well, I know the reason that poetry is different than prose and drama is because it has different elements. Just like we talked about, this has stanzas, this has rhyming words, this has rhythm. Prose and drama don't have those same things. So now I'm going to find evidence to prove that this has stanzas instead of
Ms. Kilduff, it seems that your microphone is no longer functioning. Can you disconnect your audio and reconnect to see if that fixes the problem?
Sorry, scholars, it went out a little bit. We're fixing it. I think everybody should still be back in here. And we are good to go again. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Great. So now we're back at it. Sorry about that, guys. Now, when I went back, stanzas instead of paragraphs in prose and lines in drama, I went back to my text and I found a stanza to prove that it's different. So basically, we see that give me a thumbs up if you see me big. You should see me big. Okay, great. Okay. Now, I chose paragraph stanza 2 for my packet. And then when I went back to my planning page, after I labeled it in my text, I have stanza 2 to prove that stanzas instead of paragraphs in prose and lines in drama. And that's what I'm proving to show that it's different. Now I'm going to show that it has rhyming words instead of elements of prose and elements of drama. So now I'm just thinking of elements of prose. An element of prose is a problem. An element of drama is stage directions. So I'm going to say that for evidence D, this uses rhyming words instead of element of prose like problem or element of drama like stage directions. And you're going to go back to your text and find an example of rhyming words. Go back and underline an example of rhyming words to show that you understand that this has rhyming words instead of a problem or instead of stage directions. I put this in stanza 3. I chose those first 2 lines. Close by the jolly fire I sit to warm my frozen bones a bit. It's okay, you could choose any pair of rhyming words for your piece of evidence. Now I'm moving on to paragraph 3. I need to flip my question for paragraph 3. Mr. Tanner, can you mute Mia? Okay. Paragraph 3. I'm thinking about what the structure allows me to do. The structure of a poem allows the author to convey, and I'm trying to think of what tone the author is trying to get across here. I want you to think, what tone is the author trying to get across? So I would say their ideas of what? When you have an answer, you can go ahead and show me a thumbs up. I'm going to take a few ideas of what tone the author is trying to make the reader feel. Mr. Tanner, can you unmute Poto?
Trying to convey the ideas of how some things might seem harsh, but sometimes they might seem like they might seem beautiful and good.
Okay. So we're seeing maybe a theme of beauty and goodness. What's another word that we could use to describe this tone? Wants the reader to feel what? The idea of what? When the person's going out to explore, all of that stuff. Why don't we do Zoe? Wait a second until you're unmuted. Go ahead.
The author's tone might be like calm.
Okay.
Or understanding.
Okay. I want to take one more idea. Sebastian. Go ahead.
The authors trying to make us feel adventurous because it's showing us that the narrator is feeling like it's the narrator's going.
Okay. I love these ideas. I think adventurous, calm, understanding, beauty are really great. I put wonder. I think wonder, curiosity, adventure, any of that on a winter day completely work. So you can pick the word that you think is best out of those words. Wonder, curiosity, adventure, all of those, calm. You can substitute that in for wonder, or you could pick wonder like I put on my paper. Now what I want you to do is you're going to go back in your text and you're going to find one piece of evidence that shows us a stanza, that text feature, that shows that curiosity, wonder, or adventure, and one piece of evidence that shows us how rhyming words convey wonder. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Pick a stanza, text feature, stanza, that shows us wonder, excitement, adventure. And then pick a couple of lines that show rhyming, that show us wonder, adventure, calm, curiosity, etc. Do that independently. I'm going to mute myself for 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to bring us back and I'm going to show you the evidence that I picked. If you pick different evidence, that's okay. The evidence that I picked for E, I chose this stanza, stanza 3, and I specifically pulled out the lines, or with a reindeer sled explore the colder countries round the door. Then for F, I picked the line, and tree and house and hill and lake are frosted like a wedding cake. So when I went back to my planning page, I said exploring outside, stanza 3, or staying inside. And F, I said rhyme and rhythm to convey wonder because excited for the day in stanza 5. You have to do a stanza and you have to do rhyming words. So if we continue to see comments in the chat, I'm going to make this the last day that we can use the chat. And that's going to be unfortunate for scholars who have questions that need answered because they're going to have to individually send a question to a teacher. In the response, when you're writing a stanza, you're going to do the first line and then dot, 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 and then the second line. We're going to now go into our breakout rooms, and we are going to spend the last 10 minutes independently writing our extended responses with the ability to ask your teacher in your breakout room questions about the extended response. So Mr. Tanner is going to go ahead and send us into breakout rooms in just a moment. Go ahead and finish setting up your planning page so that you're ready to go. I'll show the planning page while we wait.
All right, guys, thumbs up if you can hear me. Beautiful. So we are not actually in a breakout room. We're in the main meeting. That's because I'm hosting this video or this lesson. But this is going to act as our own breakout room, okay? So right now what we're doing is we're diving into independent practice. Ms. Kilda very carefully walked us through the planning. You have everything you need right now over the next 10 minutes to begin actually writing that extended response. We're starting with paragraph 1. Pencils are in hand. Show me that you're ready. I need to see that pencil really quick. I see Isaiah's pencil. Excellent. I see Zoe. Zoe, the fact that you don't have a pencil is an issue. You need to have one now. Frankly, it's unacceptable. Mia, your pencil? All right, let's get started. Mia, we're still on the same text that we worked on during the guided practice. It's called Wintertime. We drafted or we created our plans. What we're doing now is we're actually writing those extended responses. Give me a thumbs up if you hear me and you understand the instructions. Excellent. I see Muhammad is focused. Sam, show me your pencil. Perfect. You're writing urgently. Now, if a question comes to you and you need help or support in any way, just raise your hand and I'll make sure to address it. Sam, go for it. Mia,
So
you're...
I don't have the extended response, but I have the text and also the planning page, but I don't have the extended response.
So that means you don't have the writing space available?
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Okay, so all you need to do is maybe using one of your notebooks, begin writing in a blank space. Thank you. I'll go with Mia, then Isaiah, then Mohammed. Go ahead, Mia.
I think I have the wrong packet.
Okay, now, do you have winter time? No. Okay. Now, this packet should say 4th grade textual analysis, Monday, March 23rd. Okay, it should look like that on the front. Monday, March 23rd. Mia, while you're looking for the correct packet, I'm going to take Isaiah's question. Go ahead, Isaiah. Isaiah, I'm trying to unmute you, but it's currently being muted again. Okay, you're now open.
This is an example of poetry, including at least 3 elements of poetry.
Yes. So as Ms. Kilduff pointed out in the independent or in the guided practice, what we're doing is we're using the 3 possible features that we find only in poetry to prove that this is an example of poetry. 3 of the features we spoke about in the guided practice were verses, stanzas, and rhyming words. So in paragraph 1, you should be showing how this is an example of poetry by highlighting examples of verses, stanzas, and rhyming words. These are features that help us to see that this is just a poem and nothing more, okay? All right, I'm gonna put you back on mute. Mohammed, you raised your hand. You're now unmuted. Go ahead.
Do we use the same evidence that Ms. Kilduff picked?
Yep, absolutely. That's the purpose of the guided practice, is to allow us to see best evidence and then use it in creating our extended response. So the evidence that we selected as a team is best evidence. Please use that.
Okay.
Zoe, your hand's raised. You're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, my question was,
Yes.
so we're doing this, or we're doing what we were doing the guided practice?
What we're doing is the extended response for winter time.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so now I should see eyes on paper as we're writing urgently. I see that from Mohammed, right? I can see very clearly from Mohammed's webcam that he is focused on the packet in front of him and he is writing. I see that from Ryan. Excellent job, Ryan. I see it from Samuel. Nice job, Samuel. CJ is also in writer's posture. He's writing urgently. Christopher, I see your eyes are on packet. That's good. And Mia, your eyes are on packet. That's good. Guys, we're going to close out in one room, or we're going to close out in 1 minute. So continue working. Hey there, I just closed the rooms with 1 minute to go. Yep. Camila? No.
All right, we should all be returning to the main session. Okay. So we're all back. That's the end of our TA
So we're gonna really
lesson.
see if we can clap out the answer.
I'm gonna mute all of you. This is the end of our TA lesson. So right now we have lunch until 11:50. So you can keep on. We're gonna kick you into the waiting room, and we're gonna wrap up. When we look at a text that is asking us for an extended response, we always want to plan it out by using our paragraph separated and finding evidence to put in there. We're going to put all of you in the waiting room, and we'll see you again at 11:50 for enrichment. Okay? We're going to start putting you all in the waiting room.